how to thrive at work. This is really what we want to know today. So, first of all, we are all human beings, and we probably all of us experience something like that. We felt or we feel exhausted many times. It's not just what we are doing, but it's the way we are dealing with things, the way we are really living certain experiences in the place where we work, or in the dynamics that are created in the place where we work. So, work could be not really a pleasant thing to do, but actually, we could start the day really feeling already exhausted, even if we slept all night, or we could even have problems sleeping during the night because it could be really something that could activate us, and could be always in our mind, and could create problems also in the rest of our life. So sometimes, if we have problems at work, that has an impact on all our reality, all our um, common life. So this tiredness, it's not physical, it's emotional. So it means that it's not about really doing something really, really heavy at work. Sometimes it happens, but it's not about that. It's more about something that is happening inside of us. And what is really happening inside of us is the topic of the webinar today. So we could feel that we are always running. We need to adapt to many different situations that we don't like, and we have to accept compromises all day, every day, because it that is requested to us. The job requests that from us. So we always probably need to prove something to someone. We need to really always be at a certain level. There are many expectations from us. Maybe we have goals that we have to achieve, and it's so stressful. And also, the consequences if we don't achieve those goals could be very, very negative or very dangerous in our life. So actually, we live the experience of work as a nightmare. Really, it could be something that it not only it's not a pleasure, but it's something that ruins our life. And and so I don't want to be catastrophic. It's not for all of us like that, and it's not always like that. But it could happen in some situations, or even more frequently, that the work is not a safe place. Um, and so we feel always under threat. So um, obviously, if we feel under threat, we cannot be many times creative. We cannot really express ourselves as we would like, or as we feel. So we just need to survive. It's a place where we have to battle, and we need to win to survive. Our life is under threat. So obviously, stress is not the real problem. In fact, we know that it's not about how much we do, but it's the way we are living what we are doing. Obviously, we are human beings. If we work for 24 hours, that could be obviously also a problem. But we're talking about a reasonable work. It's the majority of time it's not really stress, really the problem. Stress, it could be a signal of something that is happening, but it's not the cause. It's not what is really causing problems to us. So if we reduce the stress, we can learn all the strategies, all the techniques. Many times I've been working in a in um, companies, or in workplaces in which employees were wanted skills, wanted strategies or techniques to relax, to try to really um modulate the emotions. But if we don't understand what is on the back, then the problem is going to come back. Is going to come back, and then it becomes like really a fight between us that are always trying to relax, trying to do something to reduce the stress, and this other part that is telling us something, but we don't listen. We don't even understand what is telling us. So we want to really understand what is underneath. So what we are going to talk about is the schema therapy model. Schema therapy is an integrated therapy that was created by my mentor Jeffrey Young, my supervisor and trainer Jeffrey Young. I've been trained by him in New York, and schema therapy. I created the mindful interbeing mirror therapy, and usually if I do therapy in person, I use the mindful interbeing mirror therapy. But for understanding what is really happening inside of you, I think that the model, the schema therapy model, is so easy and so clear, so you can really go inside of yourself and districate everything that is happening inside of you and have a clear awareness, a clear comprehension of what is really happening. Um, so schema therapy is able to really tell you exactly why something is happening, and also to gives you a map to anticipate what will happen in certain circumstances because of what you have already experienced inside. So we want to understand why in certain situations you are experiencing certain things. It doesn't have to be like that. In fact, many people live different things in the same situations. So it means that it's not really the situation per se to create the reason that creates our problems, but it's more the way we perceive the situation and the way we elaborate things inside of us, and that will cause us certain kind of emotions, physical reactions, will really cause um, us worry and the need to behave in a certain way. And usually these behaviors will really reinforce our problems and will keep us in a will keep us stuck in the same situation, in the same at the same point as usual. So, what schema therapy says, because you are new, I want to repeat something that I've been talking about in the previous events. So, if you watch all the video webinars in the video library that you have on your dashboard, you will become a real expert. You will have insights from everything I say to you, and you will be able to also give a very smart feedback. I'm sure that it's already happening during our second half during the events. So what Jeffrey Young says, just to summarize everything, then you will go deeper in watching the other into other watching the other events. So what Jeffrey Young says is that every human being has emotional needs. Since we were born, we all have emotional needs. So these emotional needs are innate. They are in us forever. So it starts when we were born, and we will have until we will die. Always emotional needs that are very important. These emotional needs actually are a way also to communicate with the environment. So we express our emotional needs, and or we don't express our emotional needs, and this will cause an answer or some reactions from the environment. And depending on what kind of reactions the environment will have, when we will express our needs, then there will be some consequences inside of us, emotionally speaking. So, what are these emotional needs? Safety. We all need to be safe. It starts very early when we are children. We cannot choose anything. We are very vulnerable, and we need someone that could protect us, someone that could really help us to survive. So this is the first need. Then connection. We need to connect with others. We are relational beings. So we learn who we are from the connection with others. So everything that others will mirror back to us will shape our brain and will shape how we will see reality, how we will feel about ourselves, about the world, about others, and will shape anything in our life. So we also need to be seen and understood. We need to be autonomous. So we, as children, we want to be able to feel safe, and from that safety, start to explore the environment around, then turning back and seeing that our mother or our father, they are there, and so we could continue to explore the environment. So, and we could really learn to deal with things by ourselves and slowly become more independent. And then we have the need also of healthy limits. So we need a structure in life. We need to know what is good or not, what we can do and what we cannot do. Obviously, some of these needs are more important very early, and some others are more important slowly later in life, but they are always there, they're always present there. And then we have also the need of play and spontaneity, the possibility to be ourselves. So, if these needs are met well enough, adequately, then we will developing and our brain will create neuronal connections so that will be very healthy, and so we will be very balanced inside, and we will feel that the world around us is trustable world. So trust will be something that we will feel inside of us. If, at the contrary, our needs are not recognized, or they are not recognized, but they are not, they are, sorry, they are recognized, but they are not accepted, and maybe we are punished for expressing our needs, then we could start to develop different kind of neuronal connections, so different kind of schemas. These schemas are um, really like lenses, mental lenses, or we could say they are like mental softwares, brain softwares. So these networks of neurons, the neurons are the cells of the brain that really um, are responsible for everything in us, everything we feel, everything we think, all the functioning of our body and our system. So if um, these experiences are negative, as I was saying, and our needs are not met adequately, these schemas will be maladaptive, and so these networks will be maladaptive. And these schemas will really push us to see in the reality, to see the reality as a unsafe. So to make us feel under threat in a certain way, different kind of threats depending on what kind of experiences we had, and to scan the reality in a way to find all the signals that something negative is going to happen, and then to elaborate these things that we will find in reality in a way in accord actually with the previous experiences that created those schemas. So, for example, if we were living experiences of inconsistent love in our childhood, then we will start to feel that people will abandon us, people will not be there for us, or if we lived other experiences in which people were doing something really bad to us, we could develop a schema that is called mistrust abuse schema, and so we would really focus on everything the reality that could tell us that others are going to do something wrong to us, and that and then we find information that will be interpreted in that way, and we will activate that schema, and we will be flooded by very strong emotions, and then obviously because we don't want to feel those emotions, we will act in a way to try to manage those emotions, to deactivate that schema, to maybe escape that threatening situation in order to live again in a safety condition. um, so the schemas become not only lenses, they become truths. They become something that is obvious and real. They become the reality. So, what I usually say to everybody is that when we are children, we are still shaping our brain. So, we recreate um, a simulation of the reality that we are living in as children inside of our brain. Then the most important aspects of the reality. So we can change maybe country, we can change friendships, we can change a job, but then the basic structure of that reality, simulated reality in our brain will be the same. So we will be usually in very similar circumstances in our life. um, so let's say in the relationship, we could always be attracted by people that will abandon us, or maybe we could always be attracted by people that will do something wrong to us, or we will feel always in situations in which we feel failing or less than others, or very defective, or we could feel very vulnerable. So depending on what kind of schema we have, we will keep living in a reality that is very consistent with the reality that we have been living when we were children. So just to remind to the people that has registered later that you can now refresh the page, and under the player we you will find the Zoom link. So the second half of the event will be done on the Zoom link in a safe area. It will not be video recorded. This one is video recorded to protect and to protect your privacy. It's only me online visible. Um, so just to give you some examples, I do more and more, but it is never enough. So when I give you these examples, try to see if these examples resonate with you. So Marco is reliable, committed, and competent. People trust him. Inside, actually, he lives with constant pressure. So people see the face outside, this face outside, but inside he's feeling constant pressure. And he thinks if I slow down, everything will fall apart. And so imagine how worried he is. And he works long hours, feels guilty when resting, and never truly feels satisfied. So when we talk about schemas, in this case, we are talking about a schema that is called unrelenting standard schema. So he's doing so much, trying to really achieve very, very high standards to try to avoid some relational consequences, negative consequences, in which the other people will see something that is not good, and then there will be very negative consequences. And maybe it's also avoiding a final step inside of himself of saying, "Oh yeah, everything is happening because I'm a failure, because I'm not good enough." because there's something really wrong about me, deeply wrong about me. So Marco does not work so much because he loves working. Obviously, it's not the because he's doing that. He works because his nervous system believes that rest is dangerous. So if I'm resting, then there will be all these consequences, and I will feel so bad. Cannot live. I am under threat. So it is helping him slowly experience that so that worth does not disappear when performance stops. So um, the solution is not telling him to relax. If we tell him to relax and the problem is still there, he will actually have more problems because he will feel even more anxious and worried. We need to understand what is behind that and then try to reduce that. So I feel inadequate even when I succeed. This is Laura. She receives positive feedback yet feels like an impostor. How many of you have ever felt like that? I had so many clients feeling, oh yeah, if they would see me for who truly I am, they will see that I am an impostor. They will see that I'm so bad. So she over prepares and then doubts herself and then um, fears exposing herself. So the schema is failure schema and also the effectiveness schema, and the unmet needs are the safety and validation. So Laura is not insecure by nature. What I want to really be precise about is it's not her nature. It's something that she learned. She learned very early that um, uh, success is really fragile, is really inconsistent, and the approval is uncertain. And if the approval is uncertain, the consequences will be dramatic for her. So facing this means learning to recognize effort and tolerate imperfection and actually build internal reassurance. So it's okay. I'm okay like that. I don't need to do all of this. It's okay if someone doesn't like me. If okay if it's okay if someone even don't accept me. But for her, she had to work for reaching that point. It's not so easy. I'm saying these things. It's not that magically I'm telling you these things and then you will understand and then you will feel better. No, you are just here to have a different way of understanding what is happening inside of you. Then there are several other steps